yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Zone beats, boy.
Subscribe to Kiwi Box. That's the one. Yeah.
Kia ora team. So I've got multiple articles about this news that broke yesterday that I'll leave in the description. You can go and read them, come to your own conclusions as usual. But I'll have a quick skim over some of them and have a bit of a talk about what's going on. So Tyson Fury has announced that he has teamed up with Top Rank and ESPN along with BT Sport and Queensberry Promotions for a multi-million-dollar multi-year deal. So as you can see here, there was a press conference in London where it was all announced. No figures and time frames have actually been confirmed, but there's talk initially that it was an $80 million 5-fight deal, and that's gone up to $104 million, and there's no real time frame on it that I know of. But yeah, huge move for Tyson Fury, and not only for Tyson Fury, for the heavyweight division. It's brought a whole lot more money to the heavyweight top three at least. So that's the first article. The second one here, Tyson Fury to Wilder and Joshua. I call the shots, it's my show now. And to a degree, he could be right. He's certainly gained a whole lot more power with this move, teaming up with ESPN, the biggest sports channel on the planet. So very big move. Will he get to call the shots with Joshua? Maybe. He definitely seems to have a lot more power with negotiations for Wilder rematch. So this next one, Wilder's manager still hopes Fury rematch deal can be made. Now that sounds a little bit shaky for the rematch, but apparently it was all kept very, very quiet, and Wilder and his team had no idea that this was in the works. Frank Warren said so himself in some recent interviews. So negotiations are still stalled at this stage. As we all know, the WBC had initially set a purse bid date. Both teams agreed, and they had an extension for a week. They didn't come to a deal, as Frank Warren was behind closed doors dealing with Top Rank and Bob Arum, ESPN as well, MTK Global in there as well, Tyson Fury's management doing a great job to get him a huge money deal. But as it stands, the WBC have given another extension with no time frame, so it's an indefinite extension. But Wilder doesn't have any choices to go anywhere. He is stuck having to try and make this fight with Tyson Fury. As he's been ordered, he can't walk away from it, whereas Tyson Fury can do whatever he wants. So this next article here, Wilder, I'm in brackets network free agent, I can fight anywhere. So he's not contracted to PBC or Showtime and Fox. He has been fighting on there exclusively since he started his career. However, he's not contracted, so he can fight on ESPN, he can fight on BT Sport, he can fight on Sky Sport UK. So there's nothing holding that back there. However, I do think Al Heyman would certainly like to maybe split a pay-per-view rematch, air it on both channels, and then Maybe they split the profits down the middle, but you know, Bob Arum doesn't need to do that if he doesn't want to. So interesting situation, that's for sure, for Deontay Wilder. He's basically been relegated to B-side in this negotiation, and with the purse bid being a 60-40 split, he would make more money if the WBC decided to actually send it to purse bid. But with the current situation being Tyson Fury's just got a huge money deal, I'm sure they would like to let the teams work it out and possibly get a huge payday for both guys, and of course big sanctioning fees for the WBC. This next one, Wilder's still targeting May 18th return for the rematch with Tyson Fury. So of course it's the primary goal. He doesn't have any choice. He's been ordered, so it has to be his primary goal, unless he wants to walk away from the WBC belt, which wouldn't be a good idea because that's his only bargaining chip at this point. Particularly not having signed to any network, so he's got no big fight deals. He's not actually signed to PBC. He's advised by Al Heyman. Al Heyman isn't a promoter, so yeah, he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place at this stage. He's got to try and make the fight with Fury. I'm sure he wouldn't mind it going to purse bid because he's got that 60-40 split, but like I said, the WBC are probably happy to let these guys work out a deal and maybe make a bigger sanctioning fee for themselves, because we know the governing bodies aren't supposed to be, well, they are supposed to be non-profit organizations, but we know they love money, eh? So this next one is more about it. You can go through and have a read for yourself. Bob Arum. We don't need the WBC to dictate Wilder Fury purses. So it sounds like Bob is willing to try and make this fight. I'm sure he wants Tyson to fight in the biggest fights he can, even though he's given him, you know, just at a rough estimate, say $20 million per fight, no matter who he fights. But to make his money back and do well on ESPN, the better opponents are definitely going to make better money. And particularly this Wilder rematch, it's already been built up from the first fight, so it's definitely going to do a lot better second time round. So I imagine he's probably willing to try and work with Al Heyman to a degree. There's also Frank Warren in the mix, so he'd be having his 2 cents put in there as well, and I'm sure he wants to see this fight made because it's going to make him money as well, putting the fight on BT Sport in the UK. However, Bob Arum says Fury Wilder rematch could be next, but we don't know. So on one hand, it sounds like they want to make the fight because it's good money, but being different sides of the street, it could be hard to make the fight. So to a degree, if these guys can't make a deal, what are the WBC going to do? Are they going to order a purse bid? And if Tyson Fury's not happy with the purse bid, is he just going to walk away from the fight? Depending what or who wins the purse bid and how much the promoters are going to bid for it. So there's a lot of things that have made this fight quite uncertain at this stage. But yeah, there's a lot to think about and a lot to put into the equation to see whether this fight is going to get made or not. And this last one that I'll leave in the description, Warren, new deal brings more money to Fury and Joshua belts. So, you know, I'm not one to believe everything that promoters say, but that's certainly pretty factual, I think. Tyson Fury has just become one of the two big dogs. I mean, we've got Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury are big money fights all of a sudden, whereas before it was pretty much just Joshua for big money fights. Deontay Wilder has been pushed down to number 3 by quite a margin now since this deal has been made. So it's all a very interesting situation. But personally, I think this deal is extremely good for the heavyweight division, extremely good for Tyson Fury, and good for all the fighters who end up fighting either Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury, because they're going to make some real money. So this has injected a whole lot of life into the heavyweight division. It's made it a whole lot more exciting, and it's certainly put a whole lot more weight into the lineal title that Tyson Fury holds as well. It seems the WBC title doesn't seem to bring a hell of a lot of money by itself, because Deontay Wilder and his management haven't managed to sign Deontay to anything. I mean, it's all good being a free agent and whatnot, but when you've got ESPN, Top Rank, BT Sport, Queensberry Promotions, Bob Arum and Frank Warren all backing you, that's a pretty damn good team. I mean, it's a bigger combined team than Anthony Joshua's got. What's he got? Matchroom, DAZN. That's it. Oh, Eddie Hearn, sorry, as well. Got to mention Eddie Hearn. So, a big congratulations to Tyson Fury. Well done, mate. And let's see if this rematch gets made with Deontay Wilder. I'm kind of skeptical at this stage, but definitely an interesting situation. So, looking forward to your comments, and I'd like to hear a whole lot of different points of view on what effect you think this is going to have on the heavyweight division. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Big Boys Boxing, we out. See you!
Zone beats, boy.